All right, Ben Wolf, carpenter foreman, mostly on structures. What I have here is edge form for all our hold the concrete in castings. The system I've been using is it's all 2x10 ripped down the deck height of 8 inches, and then once I get it into place, I'll sit here on this whole side. You can see it's all colored pink, so that way it'll be in place. They know what side. I make a cheat sheet for them for color coding, so what side goes where. And then generally I'll start labeling it depending on where we start in the corners with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till we run out. So that way they know exactly the number system. And that way with that, generally you're typical with your casting layout. So then once we go through that first initial set, we will go ahead and drill out for all our castings, and then we're not having to waste the time re-drilling throughout the number of decks that we got. And I also implement gussets behind these. That eliminates the process of having a guy go through and string line and put kickers on. So it's already kicked, ready to go, and pretty much ready for concrete once castings are in. So it seems to save a lot of time. Stuff's durable. Started on 4th floor and we're up to 10 now, and haven't had to replace anything. So longevity is the key factor, and taking out them extra steps of casting layout and kicking. So seems to be working pretty good. All right, so what we're doing on this job, we're starting with the amount of stairs and landings and treads that Core likes. They don't like to see the metal stairs, so we're trying all precast. So far it's been going good. So I'll show you here in a little bit. There we'll go down to level 2 there. We got a mold that was prefabbed up, and we got certain drawings through engineers. But so what we do is we put in-beds down on the one layer that will get attached to the deck and welded in. And then we form up a little mid landing for the top to land on, and then the next stringer to come up. What we do is on the side towards the wall, there's 4 picking lugs out of there that are engineered that we will use to pull the mold out of the form. And then it's got 4 picking lugs on top, and we just give them a little mark, and then that way they're able to fly right in and go right into place. All right, so now we're down here by our precast mold where we do all the form work. These were the picking lugs we're talking about, so it's just a matter of a plastic thing that screws in there. Usually put a little Crisco around this, a little grease to keep it from sticking. So you got 2 different sizes. You got your 3/4 and your 1 inch or 1 inch. So once that's screwed all the way in there, I'll screw that in here quick. So the 3/4 are for when we go to set it, and the 1 inches are where. So we always got it figured out, like this side typically, well on this job, this one's always the one against the wall. So that's where I'll put the 1 inches to pull it out, and we got a certain layout about where those go. But then they can just take a little screw, and you look over the side here, then we'll just screw that into the side, and then once the form's off of there, all you gotta do is pick this plastic thing out. Another lug goes in with shackles for 3/4 inch steel chokers, and that'll help roll that out. And then these 3/4 ones we'll put in actually on the tread, which gets a little tricky on a metal. So generally once the rebar's in, we got our layout, we'll set those on there. And then once the rebar mats are in here, we take a couple other little fish hooks and we weld those right to the lug, right to the rebars, and that solidifies them, and it'll be the same thing once we roll it out. All right, so this is our column system we're using out here. It's a new system to Findorff. It's called the Gates columns. It's all just 2x4 rung with plywood on the inside. For when they strip these off, they generally try to pretty much look like a precast column. So product is very nice versus all your seams and all that from your Simmons columns. No pillowing. A lot of times with Simmons you get pillow action in between your ribs. These ones I have not seen any of that. And then it's just a real quick, this one, these are all cut for 9'4" typical columns. So you can see there's six clamps on them, and it's just a matter of something easy as that. And you just pull that tight and it's clamped. You just got those 6 to do. So what I've been generally doing is, if you look over there, I got what the iron workers use for setting big wall mats, their big picking beam. It works out good with your hook placement being 7 feet apart. So the guys know when we strip, as they're setting them up there, they'll set them 7 feet apart. And then when we're ready to fly them, we just hook that up to the crane, and then that way it allows me to get 4 columns, and the guys get 4 columns up there at one point. So So that way we can do 4 picks, unhook the beam, and then we can just go right to that instead of having to send down one at a time. It's knocked off at least a good half hour, 45 minutes on just flying time. All right, so here is our handset material. It's called the Perry Skyflex. Somewhat similar components to the Skydeck, but what we have, you have the similar thing. If you can zoom in up there, it's called a drop head. So from shore to shore is your heavy. We got 5, 6s, 8s, all different sizes of that. So that heavy clicks into the shore, and then when we come back to strip, you just pop that head down, and that'll lower the form system so we can recover the lights and the heavy, the beams there. Generally what the guys can do is they'll get their heavy set, they'll go in and click one side of the lights, and then they can just take we got a little stick that we just push up, and that'll lock it right into the heavies. The heavies have channels on, 4, as you can see, you zoom up in there. For those to lock in, they'll hold into place. And then all it is a matter of those things will roll side to side, and then you can just pull them out and strip them out.